Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my dead eyes. Ugh. One day, I'm gonna, get a full night's sleep. And I can get rid of these, dark circles under my eyes. Welcome back. But it hasn't even been 24 hours since I've streamed. Alright, did I miss? Oh no, they started on time, the jerks. Seen it online for a while? I was on vacation for 5 days. Anyway, sorry I'm late, ruining Age of Empire. Uh-oh. Enjoyed my time. It was fine. Alright, hold on. I got an out of sync. Alright. Apologies again, ruining AoE. It's what I do best. Alright, we are going to be starting things here on a waterish map. So this is called Crescent. I don't know if it's a new one, but it's basically the love child of... Was it high tides or low tide? It was a tidal-based map. But it's the love child of that and Rooster, because you can see that it is not with the land crossing here on both sides. It's only on the one side. So it's a familiar take, or it's a new take on a familiar map, I guess. This means that the highest player number will be on the flank that doesn't have the land, and the lower player number is the one on the flank that does have the land. So clearly these players knew what was going on before they got into it. As you can see here, the double range opening here from Vilesa and from Tulindina. So obviously, I'm very curious to see how Suomi's going to be doing. For as I'm sure many of you know, I come from a time when Suomi was one of the best team game peoples out there, and always loved watching them play together. Anyway, big fight happening over here. We have galleys from the Max, got fire ships and the Hulks from No Zombie. But right now, it seems like Suomi's just kind of kicking butt. Fire ships are going to be applying some pressure, but the Max, who still barely plays AoE too, but there's only so much you can do to leave Age of Empires. Oh, scouts are showing up over here as well. Oh my goodness. Uho is another Finnish player that I've seen in team games before. Coming in with some Georgian scouts. Oh my goodness gracious mercy me. Robo's trying to get to Castle Age. He's got a stable. He can add in some camels quickly as the Byzantines to help out here, but ugh. Already a very potent opening here for our Suomi team. Now, Robo has some Byzantine fire ships here. And Byzantine Pocket is kind of interesting, because you'd think that the Pocket would be going galleys, but this is my first time seeing this map, so maybe it's like... Oh no, the Max went pure galleys, and he's on the water flank. Just, playing a regular galley rush style as Dravidians. Yuho is not adding in any ships whatsoever. He went with the back dock. Okay. We've got the 12 fishing ships there to Robo's 8. Robo has the forward dock, and he's still trying to apply pressure on water. But I think I like this approach from Suomi. Anyway, everything is going to get cleaned on up there. Hamel coming up to assist from Robo. The double 3K civs. In a pure galley rush, or full water rush perspective, Dravidians are better than Shu. Not really sure why Wu here, especially if you're not playing water. I mean, I guess late game you get Lochuans, and Lochuans are pretty silly right now, so I think that makes a lot of sense. Wu can also push with fire archers from, like, this very short rush distance effectively, so they're certainly not the worst civ, but their archers are not going to scale very well at all. It's not the Malian archers scale that great, though, so who can say? Malians still have the excellent wood discount, though, and the better gold miners, so they're always going to be a viable flank civ in the early game. On, honestly, most maps. Anyway, fire ships are here for Robo. His clinkers are getting constructed. And this is the opportunity here for Team Down Under. Now, one of those players, I think, is a Kiwi between Tulundina and No Zombie. I honestly forget which. Robo's Aussie, obviously. Anyway, docks are getting torched. That's the power of fire ships right there. Max is going to need to rebuild some in the back or something. So, the Down Under team able to strike back here on the water with Robo's Castle Age timing advantage. Gonna be getting a little bit of a population lead. That said, Yuho's on 18 fishing ships. He's on his way up to Castle Age. Got a huge food eco. Max is gonna add some TCs. But well done here for our Aussie/Kiwis. Crossbowmen are here from Red. The camels are here to support. Now we have a bit of a wall here from Juho that's at least going to work in the short run. Villa say you can't attack because he's already in Castle Age. But he's lost his fishing eco. Red still has 9 fishing ships. So this is actually looking a lot better here for our Southern Hemisphere team. Are back indeed. Shu are a decent water civ in general. You have fully upgraded galleons and you have Lochuans. Your fire ships and hulks aren't very good though. So they're really going to be best as a supporting role as opposed to like the main water civ that needs that super powerful naval bonus and flexibility. But yeah, Lochuans, and you have the fully upgraded galleons and a wood bonus, of course. Georgians, you're playing them as a hybrid civ. You're not really playing them for full water. You're playing them to get the early dock and the fish boom, so you have a more cavalry-centric approach on the land. Play warm colors, yeah, that does check out. Meanwhile, Max still trying to get some damage done here, but being able to garrison in the dock is helping save No Zombies fishing ships, at least some of them. And Down Under are 20 eco units ahead. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. The meta might be very stale for Arabia in team games, but team games in general have a much larger array of maps that are interesting than 1v1s. Like, this map would, you know, in a 1v1 setting, I mean, we've basically seen it before. It's high tides. Just with the tide a little too high on this side. But, you know, it's like an okay map, but this feels like a much more interesting dynamic, especially because you have the flanks here. One set of flanks who are not connected by land versus the flanks who are connected by land. You can see that the space here that's afforded no zombie at the max is allowing them to go for some pretty hefty booms, 4 TCs each. Now, Villas is going to do a good job of camping the high ground. No thumb ring for the Wu, remember. The Camels aren't going to stand up very well either, as look at this. Green is going to be coming in with some cavalry. Not the prettiest engagement, but honestly that felt like Tulandina was the one who was dictating everything, so credit to them. The dancing. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Because your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're your friends of mine. Alright, down under. Continuing to push. On the outside, we still have no zombie chasing around here on the water, but this is looking pretty rough here for Suomi after a good start. Simply not really able to deal with that Castle Age timing from Robo. As we have a bit of a tactical pause. Oh wait, we still have the Rage Forest logo here and not the League logo. Too many tournaments, too little time. Don't know what the issue is. Velasa says sorry, go, so yeah. Wait. Now this would be the most Finnish thing ever if Juho's not even in voice chat. Like, that is probably the most aggressively Finnish thing I could possibly imagine. If in a tournament game, you still have the Finnish players just communicating via in-game taunts and still somehow having amazing teamwork. We are a hive mind. I've yet to see evidence to convince me otherwise. Anyway, Imp on the way here for no zombie. Great timing for them. More fishing chips. And I mean, that's the real difference maker right now, is just that fishing eco that you've been able to establish as Suomi. Robo as the Byzantines is not going to be far away either, not with 92 eco units. And Gilnuts coming in Wheelbarrow. Also, this would be case in point number 782 that I think fire ships need to lose 1 bonus damage against buildings. They just obliterate them super fast. And Hulks could probably stand to gain 1 bonus damage against them. I think that would make the 3 ships a little bit more even against buildings. Anyway, all 3 Oski players are on the way to Imperial Age. It is just the max here for Team Suomi. Max doesn't have a whole lot of anything. I mean, he's lost his fleet. That said, he is trying to rebuild it. Actually, see, the KDs are relatively even, but it's going to be the economies that are really jumping ahead. Oh, wait, they're all Aussie. Okay. I thought one of them was from New Zealand. Nope, they're all Aussie. Vanderlab with the 45 months.
3 team game tournaments.
That is and always has been a mantra of this channel. We love team game tournaments here. All right, still trying to apply some more pressure. Husbandry's a bit late here for Juho, but it is going to be in. But this is exactly what you need to be doing here as Suomi in this game number 1 of this best of 5. There's a couple sets today. One, I think, starts in like an hour or so. So we'll probably cast this one and then jump over to the other one as it's going partway through. That is, I would guess, the plan. Anyway, if my memory serves, Shu do have heated shot, and they do. No keep, but you do have arrow slits. So your towers are okay. They'll get the job done. Dravidian towers are better, though, as you do have keep. And the knights are in. Now remember, Red's army doesn't scale very well whatsoever. You have Aztec arms, no thumb ring, no ring archer armor. Alright, a lot of knights here. Robo's going for Cavalier. Identifying Villas as the scarier target than the Max, which is kind of interesting. Aztec Arabs? Well, you know what I mean. Trade is totally possible on this map. As you see, the market's already starting to come in very early, actually. Anyway, Lochwans, remember, of course, do not need chemistry before you start training them. They also move faster, as the Shu, remember. They benefit from that speed bonus. Right now, Max trying to buy as much time as he can, but he gets regular trebs. Isn't that so much fun? But look at this. Arbs and Cavalier are in. Yeah, I mean, they're not the best Arbs and they're not the best Cavalier, but they're still Imperial Age units. And right now, you just don't... Or the Aussies. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. I think is how that's done. Just see that the Castle Age crossbowmen, no thumb ring even, not going to stand up. That said, Max is pushing back here on the water, and Dravidians are still a much better civ late game. Remember, Carax... I mean, yes, you have Carax, but you only get forging for them, which is not very good as the game goes on. I'm down bad for Down Under. It isn't just siege. Nope. It is siege and siege warships. Which in this case is Lochwans. Anyway, Down Under still almost certainly have this, as Villusa is going to be super dead. Green will not likely be too far behind. Only a couple of fortified churches. You know, I love seeing those littered all over the place. Villusa does get a castle in. Red's got his forward castle, though. Is going to need some siege workshops, though, for traction trebs. I mean, yeah, you can get to fire archers slowly, but that's going to take a long time before you have any decent numbers of those. Is the Max winning? Does the Max do anything else? Is the man capable of doing anything other than win? He's actually top scorer in the game right now. Wild. Hours are coming in here from No Zombie, though. More Lochwans, and Max is still going to be struggling for Navy. And No Zombie, huge population right now, already at max pop. Too many eco units, actually. 140 villagers. She's 96 on wood. Anyway, Byzantine Paladins here for Robo, not something we get to see every day. Anyway, Byzantine Paladins beat all but the best Cavalier, so it's not like Cavalier from Georgians would win this anyway, I'm pretty sure. I'm, like, relatively sure that the Georgian HP boost is not enough. I mean, maybe if you make it population efficiency with, EMP unique tech. It's Nari Cavalry, there we go. I knew it was like Nobleman Cavalry. Anyway, the thirsty Therosadai are not enough and Down Under. Doing a great job here in game number 1. They were a bit better prepared. I think that Robo's faster castle age here on the water just gave this side too much of an eco lead. Max was just really thrown off the water. Just could not keep his docks alive, and I think just really didn't appreciate how fast those docks went down to the Castle Age fire ships. And then they just had the fish boom behind it, obviously, and were able to make it work. So credit there to the Aussies, who are very good players themselves, even if Suomi is certainly the favored team on paper. Wait. Aussies take that. If I were a super cool guy, I would have the drafts, but obviously, you know how that one goes. Oh my goodness, guys. Nomad is the next map. Are we going to have Suomi on big-ish Nomad? We just need to get the Vietnamese players. And we're going to party like it's 2018, when Ornlu was irrelevant. More of a brocaster? I feel like I'm not a very bro-type person. Go brah, 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 brah. Never heard of Twitch? Back in my day, we watched on Justin TV. I watched Day 9 on Blip TV. I watched a GSL on Gome TV. There wasn't even a, like, decisive streaming platform. It was 14 back then? That'll do it. I'm old, what can I say? Ah, here are the drafts. All right, Crescent was game number 1. To be fair, I was doing all of that stuff when I was 14. That. Me turning 22? Well, happy pre-birthday. It's your golden birthday then, right? If you're born August 22nd and you're turning 22? I think that's when I was I 22 when I started streaming or 21? It was January 2018. So I was 20 actually. Wow. I'm 29. Born in 97. Yeah, then I'm a year older than you. All right. We have our drafts now. Let me go ahead and X out some civs. That was the Georgians and the Dravidians and the Malians. Losing to the Byzantines and the Wu and the Shu. So honestly, lower draft priority there for Down Under as well. Really well done from them. Ooh, we've got some interesting civs. We got some new ones. Let's just say some Maris are about to be married. Oh wait, this is Nineville? Is this whole tournament Nineville start? I was never paying attention. Anyway, let's go! Mostly big
Hey.
Nomad. see where the TC locations are going to be. So here we are, guys, in a bit of an upset. Winning game number 1, it will be our Aussie team, Down Under, with No Zombie in the purple as the Mapuche to the southeast. Ally will be Robo in the yellow as the Berber, sort of to the north center. And then to the far west of the map, in the red as the 2P, it will be Tulendina. So we do have 2 South American civs here, Mapuche and 2P. Whereas we have the more traditional power civs coming in from Suomi. We'll have the Max in the Cyan as the Huns to the south. He is his Cyan Paladin civ, and he's got his Hunnic horses, which is always helpful on Nomad. And it's probably a bit better on 9-Vil start for the Huns because you can get the wood that's necessary to build the dock faster. You can send Vils to wood sooner, if that makes sense. Or you could be the classic spring move, which is to play Nomad, build a dock as Huns, and then you can't afford a TC, and then you insta-resign. You know, playing with spring is always an experience. Oh, jeez. Well, his teammate, of course, will be Villasa. He's going to be in the green this time as the Chinese. Certainly going to be very happy to play 9-Vil start Nomad, one of the best civs at it. He's doing the shorefish trick to gather food early on. Which, in case you don't know, we want to check the idle TC time, which is here. A little bit of idle time. So it's not like a perfect start. And Ornlu's better than Spring. I'm probably higher rating than Spring right now. But yeah, so what you do, guys, is you hunt. You take the hunt, and then if you click on the shorefish, the villagers will drop off the hunted food at the dock. It's a really weird workaround, but it's a thing. 1700 OGs. And then finally, we'll have Juho here in the blue as the Bengalis. 2K5 and trolling? Exactly. So, early start does seem to favor Down Under very slightly. Looks like No Zombie was off to a bit of a rough start at 17, but really rough start here for poor Juho, who's only on 15 villagers. That is really painful, actually. Unfortunate, but that's just how Nomad is. Okay, looks like oh, he lost a Vil, that's why. Oh, Robo killed a Vil. Okay, that'll help. Well done there. But yeah, of course, when you look at the Civ positions, you can see that you basically have a crescent here with all 3 members of Suomi, which does leave Red all off on his lonesome, which is a little bit awkward. But at least he has some space to work with, so yeah, it's not great to be cut off from your allies, but at least you have a little bit of space to work with. Gold and stone is going to be an issue, though, looking at the map. That's not ideal. Obviously, Robo and Juho are very close to each other. Now, Camel Archers are very good against the Bengalis. No one has safe fish. Yeah, this is the full island version of the map, so chances are, you know, you'll be pretty close to an enemy. We have Villasa coming in here, saying, "This is our town, nerd." Wait, what? Oh, is that a mistake? Oh my goodness! Now, oh no, Villa! Oh dear. You know what? You know what, guys? He's literally chasing with a low HP Vil. Oh, no Loom, that's why. Oh, and he gets the villager kill. Pocketfish? Yeah, I mean, usually, again, when you're talking about Island Nomad at this size, you know, somebody's close to somebody else when it comes to the fishing. You can see Max and Robo having to share fishing ships peacefully. Anyway, we have both of our Suomi players, or both of the 3 Suomi players, on their way up to Feudal Age. Actually, we're gonna do that. Makes a little bit more sense. Nope, no invited teams. But yeah, I mean, Huns and Chinese, typical civs for Nomad, especially 9-vil start Nomad, they both benefit from. That's not too surprising. 2P are going to go FC Blackwoods because it's the FC Blackwood civ, and there's literally nothing else the civ does, so yeah, who cares? What are the Mari Maris going to do? There's a barracks coming in. I was thinking maybe FC Konas or FC Bolas, but that's 2 FC into military units. See Tulendina going over there. And then you have Robo as the Berbers, who generally want to go FC Camel Archers, so it's like, how many FC into military are you going to be doing? So it's pretty curious here. Didn't team up together? Maybe they thought that was the best team that they could have success for. Well, Nacho's the 4th player on one of the teams. I don't think he'll be doing much playing. Hey. I mean, Down Under with a really nice villager count at the moment. But Vilissa is out here with the Hulks. Robo, oh, he needs to drop the mill. Ah, the classic blunder. Need the bill for the market. So we have Vilissa who's going water, Max who's going water. Who on earth for Suomi is going to be fighting for water? Somebody has to. We got a Hulk on the way for purple and yellow, but that is not going to be sufficient. I mean, like I said, these are all FC civs. You're 4 Down Under. Now, we do have a market and blacksmith coming in for the max. Juho's about to click up. Vilissa, as Chinese, likely won't be too far behind, but it should give Suomi a really solid shot at fighting their way back on water. That said, we saw in the last game Suomi take an early lead on the water and then just die to Castle Age timings. Are we going to be seeing the same thing here, as indeed all 3 players of Down Under are on their way up? You can see Robo now going to be going on over to Stone. Blue has the TC right on the Stone. Hulks are hulking around. Pinging the TCs is no zombie. Well done there. And we'll have to see. Max and Vilissa are going to be the last up to Castle Age. Max just now clicks up Vilissa not too far off, but already docks are starting to go down. The villager count has evened up. But like I said, we saw this in the last game, and it didn't work out well for Suomi. You can see Down Under, it's not like they don't have any ships at all, although they are starting to lose some. Xian Zhongxing? I have no idea. All right, Vilissa's up, so now everybody on their way up to Castle Age. Robo with an outpost. You take a look at the timings. It is almost identical Castle Age timings, but Juho will be closer to the 650 stone you need for the castle. Robo more eco units overall. Juho only has 7 fishing ships at the moment. But first up here to Castle Age is Tulendina, and it is castle time. And that is not what Vilissa is going to want in his life, as the Blackwood Archers will start Blackwood Archering. Now, indeed, it does look like it will be for Bolas Riders here for No Zombie. Castle Age in for him. Going to be getting medium warships. And indeed, the Bolas Rider production will start in just a moment. Dragon Star on Dark Side? Yeah, hard to keep up, man. Anyway, castle drops incoming here. Both players will get the castles down. Robo snags 1 extra villager, which is always nifty, and it's Petardin time. But Robo's castle is uphill. Now, I'm not sure if the Petards will be able to get a downhill hit, but at the very least, any Petards from Juho will be attacking uphill, and that's going to be a big advantage. Oh, but the castle of Juho sniping it right there. Oh, you already have an armored elephant on the way. How is that held by automod? What? No, these are live games. Oh, no, I just rolled over my headset cord. All because a corgi wanted an oatmeal bowl. Apparently, NOM Space was auto-modded. No idea why Nom is auto-modded. Anyway, Robo's castle is in trouble right now. Petards really haven't done a whole lot for him. Meanwhile, to the south, we have some Bolas Riders here, and that's not a unit Huns like dealing with. Meanwhile, Max is booming because that's what he does. And where are our Blackwoods? They are literally just garrisoning inside the castle for now. That house will go down swiftly. Villas has already relocated the TC. Some Blackwoods are out over here applying some pressure. Big Nom, indeed. Rocket carts are coming out, though. And the question is, are Blackwood archers still overpowered even after the train speed nerf? Well, to be fair, that would happen to any archers. Oh, nice hit there. Meanwhile, Juho absolutely flapping Robo at the moment. Adding a second TC, Robo's still only the one. Robo does get a great Mangonel hit right there, though. Meanwhile, Max is still adding an eco, and right now things are looking up for Suomi. No zombies adding in the third TC, but because everybody on Down Under went for FC aggression, nobody's really been there to add eco and play the long game. So part of me wonders maybe if No Zombie should have taken a bit more of an economic approach. But right now on the water, Max has been doing work. We have 11, 12, and 7 fishing ships versus 13, 8, and 1, as Robo really not having a great time of things. 17 eco units lost, the Max with 12 kills to 0 deaths. Bit more even for everybody else in the game. Anyway, it's Ratha time. Oh, good Mangonella hit there. Mangonels do have the advantage over rocket carts, I feel, in the actual early mid-Castle Age trades. They have more HP, so they can survive the, the glancing shots more, and they're cheaper. Hello, only positive vibes. Anyway, this is still really tricky for Villasa. No Zombie still trying to have some presence here on the water, but again, I can't help but wonder if the civs, we had a little too much civ overlap from the Down Under team. That said, you're forcing the Hun player to be stuck making skirmishers, not what they want to be doing here. But Bolas Riders are just a very good unit against the Huns. PBA only just now coming in for red. Went for a very aggressive FC time. But as is so often the case with the Blackwood Archer approach, it feels like you forget to add an economy. And, you just need to set yourself up for the long game, almost always. Another great Mangonel hit there for Tulindina, so out-microing the Mangonels for Villasa, not something to be ashamed of. And yet, I'm a little concerned here that you just don't have that long-term plan. Robo's having a really rough time of things, so he's not going to be able to contribute for a while, which really just leaves purple. All right, more ranges coming in here for Max, more skirmishers as well. And that will be a chateau from No Zombie. Oh, Villasa looking for some revenge right there. And at least the Blackwoods aren't pushing any further forward, so Villasa's kind of holding the line, because the important thing right now is that Juho's expanding his economy. And Tulendina is, although he's been able to do a lot of stuff to pressure Villasa, it's not like Blue is really having any trouble whatsoever. Robo trying to do something with a Mangonel there that will be highly ineffective. Blackwood's getting shown the door by the Ratha on the other side. What about it between rocket carts and mangoes? There is no sort of one correct answer. Oh, geez, this is a mess. Oh, gotta be careful. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Skirm's gonna shoo those guys away. But yeah, in general, rocket carts are more expensive, and they have less HP, but they have higher attack versus buildings without masonry. And they're cheaper to get to full upgrades, but, well, sort of. Heavy rocket carts are about the same as onagers, but most of the civs with heavy rocket carts have extra upgrades that make them better. Anyway, here we are. Rathas are here. The trample damage is going to do wonders against the Blackwood Archers once they close the gap. And oh no, those Rams aren't going to do anything for poor Robo, as he is now just trying to expand to the east and get whatever little bit of economy out that he can. Now the Mangonels there are starting to fall. Villasa, again, holding the line. It's what he needs to do. And that has allowed Juho to build his own economy and get those Ratha numbers in that are needed. So really good team play there from the Finns. Max has really just been on an island, been defending, but he did so much on the water in the early game to knock out Robo that all he needs to do is just hang around and occupy purple. That advantage is going to continue for Suomi. The castle will be in here. There's a castle for the Max. Imperial Age, gonna click in here for no zombie. Ah, the castle was needed as the building. That's not ideal. But Imp is still clicked up right after. Max is gonna be not too far behind. He has a few more villagers. And the advantage here for no zombie is that he's got the much better army composition going forward. Is the double kill from Max. That's a big one. But the Konas are going to come out, and they're going to be very good against the skirmishers. Ratha's charging down the Blackwood Archers. And like I said, that trample damage from the Rathas is so huge. But able to retreat to the castle. Blackwood Archers are still pretty fast. They're around 50. They are, in fact, exactly 15% faster than regular foot archers. Is poison, but poison only comes in the Imperial Age, whereas the trample is for free, which is a big difference. Anyway, the Kokonas are coming on in. That Mangonel is going to go down very quickly. There is a monk here. Now another castle is on the way for the Mapuche player. This is the sort of breakthrough that no zombie's been looking for here against the Max. Max's huge score lead. Guess that's in part water. Random Skirm was doing random Skirm things. Red is on that second TC, but again, it feels like Tulendina has been sort of playing that 1v1 Phosphorus style with the Blackwood Archers without ever getting to the huge economy that you need to get to late game 2P, which is usually just swarming your opponent with a bunch of, random units. I just don't think that no zombie alone is going to be in a position to carry this game into the Imperial Age. Robo can't do much in the near future. He's just trying to reboom. Red is trying to boom in the first place, and their Castle Age armies are not really going to be that great going forward. Max is almost to Imp. Juho's just now clicked up. Now, Villasa obviously also having a really bad go of things, but he's still on 72 villagers, which is more than Red, which is crazy, considering that, he does have those fishing ships, which is a big help. But that's really been, again, part thanks to the Max. Indeed, 3v3 games. It is a 3v3 tournament. As we now have 3 forward castles in for purple. No traction treb nonsense for this civ. They just get regular trebuchets. Gonna be able to apply a lot more pressure. Now, it is an interesting question if you want to prioritize the elite Konas or the elite Bolas riders. Maybe the Bolas riders? Kind of hard to say. And Spain scored instantly? Yep, I sure did. Anyway, Trebuchet there gets sniped. Remember, Hunnic Trebs are more accurate. Oh, that castle's all sorts of not happening. Imp creeping in closer and closer for Juho. Masonry. Good old Mass Nori. But even so, this is a really ugly spot for the Max. I say as he is like 800 score ahead of everyone else. But again, that's water. He's also not developing a good army, just for the Hun skirms. And Robo, you know, he's slowly gonna get to Camel Archers. He is on 3 TCs. Yo, does this count as a TC drop? I think it does. The Hun Horse Lozo does it. Sure does. Now purple's under threat, though, from those random rocket carts. AoE 2 content drought? Why do you say that? There's like 3 tournaments going on right now. Oh boy. Hello, Rob C. Well, the Camel Archers are good against the Rothas. The Micro's good here on the Blackwood Archers. Oh, no new DLC announcement? Oh. I guess so, yeah. Blackwood Archers just attack so freaking fast. Well, so much for Robo's Camel Archer production. That's going to be going down. Lots of armored elephants here. With Thumbring upgrade, they would get that in Altex. But you wouldn't get Curare, so that still feels like a big downgrade. Elite Ratha and Elite Tarkin. Now, Tarkins should be dreadful against Konas, but you're taking down so many castles, and honestly, Max has been doing crazy work with the trebuchets. He's taken down 2 of the 3 forward castles, and this is not at all what Down Under are looking for here, as Suomi, you're with around a 1,500 score lead in game number 2. Didn't make any... Well, he didn't really have the economy or the tech setup to go for Trebs and army all at once. You know, Pikes coming in. Little Rathas. I mean, I guess you could argue that he should have gone heavier into Bolas Riders, but he was facing basically just skirmishers at the time. But again, you're in a situation where you're the only one with an economy, so it feels like what you need is the unit that can just run over literally everything, which is the Coda, in this case for the Mapuche. But then you're also in that situation where you need the castles for trebuchets, and it's a tricky spot. Anyway, Suomi already had a big lead in this game. You got Curare and Butul Mapu coming in. Oh, I got Butul Mapu with the Blackwood Archers. Feels good, man.
Hi.
Yeah, Suomi's Finland. All right, more Konas are on the way, but those castles are going to go down just as quickly as they're built. You're at 115 bills and 2 castles. It's still not the best. But Curare is very good.
Tim.
Conscription's denied. And now the elite Tarkans. Always about what Utar can do and never about what Utar can't do. Tupian? Tupian isn't a word. Double cow. Oh yeah, you got Cosmo as well. Not that Robo has really been able to make great use of a castle thus far. Got some camels out here as well to try and help deal with the Rathas, but the Rathas looking real strong here. They do have pikes in for that quick reload time as well. Who is Juho? Just a 2K finish player. Tarkan. Yep. Tupian languages? I've never heard that before. I would have thought it was the 2P languages. But yeah, Tarkans should get absolutely obliterated by the Konas. That said, the Konas don't have the elite upgrade and are missing basically every upgrade. Whereas the Bolas Riders, it's a little bit weird because Tarkans have very high pierce armor, and Bolas Riders really don't get much extra attack. Remember, it's only +2 against Cav, which is, in effect, +1 relative to Cav Archers because they have one lower base attack than Cav Archers. Tarkans should be very bad against Rathas. Rathas have a lot of melee armor. Anyway, Villas, trying to rebuild. He's got trebuchets. That castle's getting low. I mean, the Blackwood Archer numbers are climbing. Elite Kona is now in. Yeah, especially as those extra attack upgrades come in, that helps as well with the trample damage. I mean, Suomi's still over 100 population ahead at the moment. Blackwood's kind of getting wrecked at the moment. Oh. Not really taking much damage. Go, Tarkans, go, go. Go, Tarkans. Oh, look at that poison damage going crazy right there. Elite Kona's having to retreat for now, but especially over time, the Konas are going to do very, very well against Tarkans. And yet, Max's Tarkan production's very good. They're fully upgraded. They have Blast Furnace. Konas don't have any attack upgrades in at the moment. So Max doing what he can, which is quite a bit in this case. And trade cogs! Oh, Suomi were making trade cogs before they were cool. Look at those trade cogs trade-cogging it up. Now, Tarkan's going to be very good against Blackwood Archers. And the Tarkans are obliterating everything. Of course, going to destroy the buildings very quickly as well. Max rounding out his eco upgrades, and his score is looking real good with the Hunnic Tarkans. 2 Drummonds? Always so much happening on the map. Yep, Drummonds being annoying on the side as well. But no, I would rather see, you know, 5 skirmishers micro back and forth, and then every civ going Cav Archers or boss brewing. Huns get Drummonds? They sure do. I mean, they're not that great. They don't get any bonuses for them, but they have them. Well, everything there is going to get cleaned up. There's certainly something to be said for that. Villasov will need to eventually get back into this game, but that's exactly what he's doing. Ukonu are slowly going to be climbing in number. He's got fully upgraded elite skirmishers. Foster the meta now? From what I hear pros complain about, yes, it is the meta right now. Which is really weird because I feel like I don't see it all that often. That is plenty of villagers getting wrecked there. Gonna have an attempted switch over into halbs from No Zombie, and yes, the halbs from Mapuche are very good. Stream frequently? I stream as frequently as I can. And then I have my mom saying that I need to spend more time looking at grad school possibilities, and it's like, where am I supposed to find the time to do all this stuff? Buff versus buildings? I don't know. I think Tarkans are good. Tarkans are very good against buildings. They actually got an indirect buff. Well, I mean, it was actually a pretty direct buff. When the Tarkans had the reload time decreased, it was basically like a 10% attack speed boost, which just means they deliver their anti-building damage 10% faster. Anyway, everything's falling about. I mean, look at the bar chart, guys. The bar chart is a lot bigger this side than this side. And Suomi, what? Does it count the production of melee versus ranged Rathas as two different things? Oh, Max was gonna get atheism, lol. Anyway, a lot of Tarkans made, a lot of unique units made here. That was fun. And Suomi strike right back and take game number 2. And I just realized I've been streaming for an hour and I never got my coffee. Max with a 2.25 KD making those Tarkans, man. But it was also his early game water that really put the Civ in a great spot. And that is Big Nomad, or Big-ish Nomad. Big enough Nomad, if you will. Alright, that was the Huns and the Bengalis and Chinese over the Tupi and the Mapuche and the Berber. So honestly, a lot of low draft picks so far here for Down Under, whereas it's been much more evenly spread out for Team Suomi. Fun stuff, guys. Hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday morning. And to get some coffee. Oh my goodness, guys! The next map! It's Arabia! Just kidding, it's Arabia. I just really like to dampen the spirits of the Rob Balance crew. Oricon with the 99 months. Now, I have been streaming for 105 months, because I got the 105-month mod message. So 105 is a funny AoE number. But 2, that means 4Com has subscribed to my stream all but 6 months of my entire streaming career. Pretty impressive. You have indeed been here for a minute, 4Com. Actually play, you know, I'd recommend it. You don't have to play Age of Empires, but, you know. You know. Ellie left me. Most of the people in my life have left me. The Halo games? I'm an American in my late 20s. Yes, I've played... Or an American male in my late 20s. Yes, I've played the Halo games. So much easier than playing. It sure is. Oh, this is what Scarface Frostborn made for me years ago. It's House Stark with Stark's face on it. You played the campaigns? A long, long time ago. My friend, though, I'm gonna be the best man at his wedding in April. He is huge obsessed with all the Halo campaigns and Halo stuff, so I hear a lot more about it than I've ever played it. And did Zero Space contact me? I don't know. Be like COD level? Oh no, like Halo set the gold standard for FPS campaigns. Did they ever contact me? I mean, I get bombarded by stuff all the time. Nope, they never contacted me. I mean, the Halo games, the old ones, are absolutely classic. Could have been easy money. How would have been easy money? They didn't reach out to me. Doom? Nope. The Halo TV series? I did not know. I don't think I'm important enough anymore to get, people wanting to pay me to do stuff. Anyway, guys, it is time. It's Arabia. The hamstering will continue until morale improves. Bro fell off, you bet I did. Alright. No zombie gonna be here in the purple as the Mayans on the south flank here for the Aussies. 9 start, so you can just start making a villager right away. Any sponsors before? I did a Raid Shadow Legend stream once, back when they paid an absurd amount of money for the what you put in. But yeah, I mean, even at my height, so to say, I barely, you know, broke minimum wage doing this. Ref, they'll bribe me, yeah. Anyway, Robo the Yellow Magyars in the pocket, and Tulindina the Red Ethiopians on the north flank. It is very hard to argue with these civs here for Team Down Under. They are best in slot, or at least at worst top 3 in slot. Center? Yes, I did. It was great. Anyway, Villasa gonna be here in the blue as the Incas on the north flank. The Max will be in the green as the Way in the pocket. And Amalius is going to be the Cyan Khmer on the flank. So Amalius is going to be subbing in here for Juho. Hello, Messenger. Yeah, the crazy thing is, I'm sure Trump thought he had a good day because he just seems so detached from reality. And so long as he has people constantly telling him how amazing he is and how much everybody loves him, it feels like he probably just drowns out everything else. How'd the lecture go? I thought it went pretty well, except when I recorded it, my mic was in use in Zoom and it wasn't in use in OBS, so it literally recorded none of my audio, which is very, 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 very annoying. But here you are. No worries. I have the video recording. You use pieces and snippets and the full audio as you had planned. I will send it to you via WeTransfer. Yes, I'll share the recording with my peers in the department. I'm sure they will find it interesting. Some of them are AoE fans. Awesome. When he sent that to me a day ago, why didn't I get a message? To redo it? I mean, I thought, having never given a lecture and not really having a ton of direction as to what I was going to be doing, I thought that it went well. The students seemed to be engaged. I got lots of good questions. I was actually really impressed with the students. I did a lecture on Age of Empires. And Age of Empires and how, as players and what the developers are trying to do, it has us interact with history. Well, it was over Zoom, but it was for the University of Toronto in Canada. But yeah, no, I had a good 46 students, I think. Was I paid? I think I will get paid eventually, but hasn't, oh, jeez. All right, chat, say it with me. Research in Loom makes your villagers harder to kill. To research Loom, click the town center and click the Research Loom button. To take history seriously? Yeah, and, I talk about, here are the challenges and the opportunities that, setting a game in history has. On the one hand, it's super identifiable, right? It's very intuitive as to what that a pikeman counters a cavalry, or that archers are good against, infantry. Like, that's very intuitive with what you know about the world. But on the other hand, you get into a lot of different issues when it comes to representation and oversimplifying things, as you have to do in a video game context. And especially one student actually asked a great question about, what is it like having to deal with historical accuracy when you're making a strategy game. And I think he specifically said grand strategy game, and I said, well, it's actually a little bit more difficult in a game like Age of Empires because it's so fast-paced. It's more of like an arcade strategy game like StarCraft and Warcraft. So instead of having like battalions of, armies running around and, engaging in these big slow battles, you have this, right? 2 scouts and 4 archers microing around back and forth. So there has to be a lot more artistic representation as opposed to, showing exactly what happened. Anyway, big advantage here for Suomi. They had the numbers advantage early on, and they are running with it. Yeah, but that's my point, is that you have to take artistic liberties and heavily streamline things. Because you need a ranged unit that's good against other ranged units for basic balance and design. Because the alternative would be to make ranged units have no obvious counter, but they would have to fire really slowly, which just doesn't feel good. Not unlimited. Exactly. Like, again, you're making a video game. It has to be fun to play. Archers and skirms. I think it's less. Vilissa has no army. Well, yeah, I mean, Villis is having a terrible go of things at the moment. On the south, Cyan does have the lead over purple, but it's just not as massive as the lead that red has over blue. Be less egregious. I don't know, I'm getting lost in all these different trains of thought. The point is, I think it's a lot more intuitive to make archers the baseline ranged unit and skirmishers a supplementary unit than the other way around, in terms of what people think of medieval warfare. Anyway, scouts here for the max. We'll clean up the rest of those units. Do we have a blacksmith? Yes, we do. We have a tower coming in for the pocket. That's already a win. Forcing a tower out of the pocket means that they can't easily 2 TC boom or sell their stone up to Castle Age. Or 3 TC boom, no, add 2 TCs. Anyway, this is what we call AOKTP, Age of Kill the Pocket. Max is going to have a horrible time trying to defend this. Suomi does have a villager lead at the moment, but it is ugly. LY versus Vitality show match? For this tournament? I thought that there was like a qualifier match for this tournament. Or is this just content for the content gods? Well, that's a little ugly, but you do get the feeling that this is going to get cleaned up eventually. This, not so much. And how do you even come back from this if you're Suomi? Villisa's trying to recuperate his archer numbers, but that's pretty rough. Tulandina's killed 8 villagers. Max has lost 10 villagers. Holy cow. Amalius has killed 7. The issue with the Wei as a pocket here is actually that they're not that amazing as a feudal age civ. Magyars are so much faster. Wei, it takes a little while for those eco upgrades to kick in, and then they really start to come online in the castle age. I have no idea what it comes from originally. I just know the meme. But yeah, Magyars are going to be so much faster right out the gate. Wait, no Dark Age bonus. No Feudal Age military bonus. But yeah, I mean, you can just tell that the civ quality is a lot higher across the board here. Blood for the Blood God? Ah. Well, the power of micro compels you. I don't think it's very compelling, though. Well, alright, Castle Age is coming in for both flanks. So credit to Amalius and Vilissa for being able to stabilize that. Still, you're playing Incas as a pure archer civ, which is like, they're not bad, but they're not amazing either. Yeah, Khmer Way Incas is dealing with a lot of like tier 2 and tier 3 civs versus all of the very best civs. In fact, it is their last pick, their third to last pick, and their fifth to last pick. So these are 3 of the lowest picks for Suomi. So this feels like a bit of a sacrifice game. Yeah, I'll cast it after this. I would rather cast the tournament game. Well, Alias now getting to Castle Age. See what he can do here. Archers are still at home, though. Going Tiger Cav? I doubt that was his original plan. Going Hagwon Cav makes a lot more sense in Castle Age in a team game setting. But because he's been having to gather so much stone, he might have to go for the much more population-efficient unit because his eco is so bad. As Robo's continuing to pounce here. Max Cyan, because life is full of these little disappointments like that. Anyway, 25 to 18 ranged units. Archer upgrades not in quite yet. This is a really awkward fight to try and micro. Red doing a great job of dodging shots. Purple's now in Castle Age 2. Well, Vala, Zupi, and Ruben aren't active anymore. Like, they straight up just don't really play. Max only plays in team game events as well. Valesa's also not super active. They're old, man. They're like the Argentinian team, man. They're just a bunch of old hats. Plays for the Amigos? I mean, he might for this tournament, and he'll probably do pretty well, but he's still not very active. Hey, now you're an all-star. Get your guang on. Oh, that's great. Anyway, Archer's coming in here. I guess Amalius is really playing well. Low idle time, 11 kills to 0 deaths. He's the only player in this game that has not lost a villager. But he might still end up getting trapped and killed here. I don't know why the scouts weren't really attacking, but now they are. Archers will do what they can before they all die, but they all die. Scouts and archers are over here, and I mean, it's the classic AOK TP. Unbeaten. I think this is just the real concern right now, is like, what on earth is the Max gonna do? Like, yeah, you can make some Hagwon Cav, and it's actually going to be better in a 3v3 than a 4v4 because there are is relatively less pocket relative to flank. But it still seems like a really, really big ask to get Max and Suomi back into this one. I mean, it's not like the eco is amazing for Robo. I mean, Robo's lost 7 bills and has had a lot of idle time. Also not going to be the easiest, I think, for him to add in extra TCs. No, wait, no, he never actually spent any of his stone. So yeah, he could actually buy some wood and add in the TCs, and you really should be doing that. You don't want to let Max creep back up on you. You know how creepy Max is. But yeah, the lack of civ quality is going to be a big issue going forward here for Amalius, who's in the best spot right now. Actually in the game. Again, credit to Amalius for how well he's been playing. Amalius is a very hamstery hamster. Like don't have husbandry, but have all the other upgrades. They grab another couple of villagers. And indeed, there's the castle. And stomp all over them. Yes, the very simple 1 TC low eco night switch. You know, Scorpions? Scorpions are very, very, very bad here. Not only is it much easier for them to get caught out by all of the cavalry, but also you have no mobility to try and maneuver and keep track with your team. Like, how on earth are you not going to get caught out of position? Anyway, more upgrades coming in for the Max, and at least he's trying to leverage the way to get something back in terms of resources. Enough Scorps can counter anything? Not any number of Scorps you can make on one TC with 53 fills. What you talking about, homie? Alright. Several archers up here. Garrison the house, Amalius! It's literally a civ bonus for you. Oh my goodness. Ballistics for all the flanks. What if my grandma was a bike? Yeah, exactly. Now Vills are starting to die. Down Under's army lead is just getting way too gigantic. And this is looking like Down Under gonna be going up over 2-1. Get it? Knights are getting walled out, but this... again, nobody is really with that great of an eco on this team except for Villasa. And he's making Inca crossbowmen. Oh, this is a cute little move from Mac. Keep finding ways to be useful. +2 defense would have been a lot better, though, as the villagers would have only dealt 1 damage to the scouts then. Spearmen are coming back home anyway. Vill counts are now basically even between the two teams, and that was really the one small lead that Suomi had prior. Knights are still finding plenty of value. No thumb ring for Chimera is a huge issue. I remember when I advocated for Chimera getting thumb ring. And then they gave them Arbalest and Hussar and an insane eco bonus instead. Pop is still close? It's less close than it might look. It's around, what? 30 to 40% army advantage, and they're both teams are making basically the same armies. So it's really, really hard to overcome a numbers disadvantage like that. Do you have weaknesses? I don't think they have enough weaknesses. Yeah, imp timing is still very, very good. I mean, if the numbers advantages aren't on your side, then the tech advantages are going to be perhaps your only way back into this. And, you know, for what it's worth, Incas do get fully upgraded Arbalasts. Yep, exactly. I think that your remove husbandry in the Civ is actually very well designed. Well, remove husbandry and then compensate for, with the elephant speed increase. Red's about to run out of gold. Okay, he's just gotten the extra TC over there, but purple's on 3 TCs, yellow's on 3 TCs, red's on 2 TCs. They're eventually going to get that eco rolling, and actually the eco numbers are really starting to be in their favor. But the ARB advantage is very real. Arbalest and HCA. Khmer don't feel like a civ that should be in a primo Hussar spam civ. Like, design-wise, that doesn't make a ton of sense. They're not a major cavalry powerhouse. I mean, but like from a logic and design perspective, they had neither Hussar nor the farm bonus at launch, and now they got both of those things, and now that's entirely what they're known for. Tech tree? Well, I mean, like, even from, like, a game design perspective. Like, we have a lot of civilizations that do regular horses very well, but we don't have as many civilizations that really want to make elephants instead. Will never be meta? Yeah, but a civ with a bad tech tree and an amazing economy will always find a way, in the same way that Vikings do. I mean, they have a better tech tree than Vikings, and they have an eco that's just as good, if not better. On land maps, obviously. Vikings still top tier on water maps. Anyway, No Zombie starting to wall up, realizing that what they need to do is survive. I mean, I say that, but honestly, look at this. Look at Max's macro. 81 vills to 68. I mean, Robo's taken some vill losses, 25 even. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize it was that much. But beyond that, it's been the idle time and just the superior macro here from the Suomi team, and they have taken the score lead. Wow. Oh wait, that's the MTC too. Oh no. Oh no. Owie. That's a huge problem. And despite a huge mid-game advantage, not quite able to capitalize on it with the macro. And because the map is so big, it really did give a bit of an opportunity here for Amalius to get his tech advantage, and Villas to get his eco and tech advantage. Physics Paladin production. 3 Ps, yep. Eco to give others time to boom. And I think, again, to me, Amalius is the MVP of this game because he also held on and defended on 1TC super, super well. And also was the only player on his team to actually do well in the Feudal Age. Villessa, though, deserves a ton of credit for rebounding after his early losses. And then the Max surviving AOK TP to get his own army going now with the Tiger Cav. Like, again, it's actually super freaking impressive. I love me some team games. All right. Imp is now on the way for Robo and for No Zombie again. Tulandina's there, but Tulandina, I feel like this is just like in the Nomad game, where Tulandina not really focusing on the macro enough. You do have the fully upgraded arbs, and, you know, that's obviously very, very good. But what you're not able to do right now is transition into the Siege. That would be a really great complement there for our red player to really start to push down Villessa. And again, Villessa, you know, was able to minimize his own vill losses. I mean, yeah, 25 vills is bad, but again, it could have been so much worse. And because his macro was very good, he was able to replenish those losses and then still get a good imp time. Max is now on his way up. Yes, he will be the last player to Imperial Age, but he's also got the best Castle Age unit right now in the Tiger Cav. Good fight here for Tulandina, though. Ethiopian Arbs are very good units, in case you didn't know. Robo now adding in another TC, and we are getting to the really interesting part of these team games on the radio, which is getting towards the late game when players really have to start fleshing out their tech trees, get their trade going, and all about taking good fights as a unit. But Suomi, look at this, 100 population ahead. That's the Italians, you bet. Italy went to Ethiopia and said, wow, this place's food is just as good as ours. I won't take anyone throwing shade on Ethiopian food. That stuff is amazing. Especially if you like spicy stuff. Castle coming forward here from Villessa. 61 arbs for him. Capture M as well. You do have fully upgraded Arb Siege Ram as Incas, rather, and also Ethiopians, to be fair, but that's not relevant here. Don't think I will soon. Yeah, it's very, like, flavorful. Lots of stews, as is often the case in African food. It's not that spicy. Some stuff can be spicy, but it's like more flavorful. Tomatoes are introduced to Italy. Yep. Not what you've hard. I mean, just like most cuisines that have spicy food, you have spicy stuff in it and not spicy stuff. A couple days ago, was it yummy? Boom. You hated the... Was it bad injera? I've never had bad injera. Anyway, Elite Tiger Cav coming in and Suomi are just rocking it right now. I mean, a good performance here from Down Under, especially because they're up against players who are on paper better. Well, at least in the Losa and the Max. But eventually the macro kicks in. Good injera tastes like? Like spongy carb goodness. Mingguang armor coming in. It was too sour. It is sour, yeah. It's kind of like a sourdough bread in that regard. This just looks goofy. I don't know why. But the guy here pulling... Oh, wait, that's a new trade cart. I didn't even realize. Yeah, is there a Mayan trade cart yet? Okay, one is going to be out here. I think the model is different. Nope. No, never mind. I thought it was the same. I thought it was a guy who was half naked. Yeah, it is the same. I don't know. Hey, I'm just going crazy. Anyway, if you look to your left, you can see Tiger Cav being both fun and balanced, and GG, I'm sure, will be called momentarily, as red has no army, yellow has no army, purple has army, but he's got no map positioning, and he's not really getting anywhere. Pasta consumption? I did know that. Completely bizarre. Anyway, Suomi, take game number 2. Again, admirable performance from the Aussies. They probably should, in quotes, have won the game, but it's really tough in such a mechanics-based setting if you don't close out the game to just beat people who have the mechanical advantage over you. It is tough. Anyway, that is an honestly big civ disadvantage. You look at Mayans, Ethiopians, and Magyars losing right there to some of the lowest picked civs from Suomi. Watch the Odyssey? I want to. I've heard it's very good. Alright, looks like Migration will be the next map. And possibly last map. But I'd like to see a Game 5 here. The Aussies have really acquitted themselves quite well. And they did very well on the last water map. What with being from an island and all. Although, I don't know. Australia doesn't really feel like it has much of an islander culture. I think their island is too big. Bet Robo never thought he'd be eating Suomi. Honestly, really impressive. Like I said, right? The Aussies generally acquit themselves quite well in team games. And Hera made Chimera Hussar Civ. He made every Civ a Hussar Civ. The UK does? I guess so. Anyway, as far as Civs, that makes sense. Vikings are a no-brainer. Black Forest is the last map. Probably Japanese here. Probably Persians here. Probably Armenians here. Italians as well, though. Ooh, I might go Italian Armenian flank. And then Japanese pocket. I think I like that idea. And then Viking Persian flank. And Lithuanian? No, not Lithuanian pocket. Saracen pocket? Oh, okay, it is going to be a Persian pocket. Oh, Roman flank. Okay. Otherwise, I got all that right. I didn't mark way? Did I ruin your Age of Empires viewing experience again? To the States? Yes! It's not that Northern Italian food isn't prominent in, like, American Italian cuisine, but a lot of, like, the very basic stuff, like pizza and pasta, very much, Southern Italian. Also, what we consider, like, the default pasta sauce is the more Southern Italian style ragu than, like, a bolognese, like a meat sauce. Northern Italian food? Stuff like polenta, risotto. Pizza. I mean, pizza, at this point, just like pasta, is all over Italy. Except Chicago. Chicago doesn't have its own pizza. We have two types of pizza. Even if one of those pizzas is more like a casserole. Yeah, like, I literally don't know anyone from Chicago who eats deep dish regularly. Deep dish is a tourist thing and something you do in Chicago like once or twice a year. That's how often I have it. Volume is varying? Well, that's mostly because I am being lazy. "60 years old at best." I think that's the case in much of Europe, as especially post-World War II, a lot of cuisines got tied to, like, national pride and identity. But yes, most of what we consider traditional recipes, and this is actually true all over the world, really aren't, like, ancient recipes, as most of history involved just eating staple grains. And the accent, like in Casino, I'm not very Italian at all. The only time my Italian heritage manifests itself is in the dishes that my family cooked growing up. Yep, porridge, bread, soup. Doesn't really make for much national pride. But also, food gatekeeping is one of the dumbest things ever. Daily gabagool. I don't think anybody outside of maybe New York, New Jersey say gabagool.
Oh.
Anyway, it's migration time. We'll have Villasa in the blue as the Vikings on the flank. Max is the green Persians in the pocket. I was thinking maybe Persian flank, but with the fire ship and Hulk meta that we have these days, I think Persian pocket makes more sense. And then Romans for Amalius is a bit of a surprising one for me. I think... oh yeah, I was thinking maybe Saracen flank. Then, but... Maybe you want to save them for BF? Romans, though, are going to be fine. You do get extra arbor for your galleys, which is actually a very nice bonus, and your eco is amazing, so not a whole lot to complain about. Italians, though, top tier. Japanese, fantastic pocket civ here. Armenians, top tier flank civ. Again, we're looking at best in slot here, or at least top 3 in slot. I think Vikings and Dravidians probably round out the quartet, so these two civs, Italians, Armenians, and then Vikings and Dravidians are probably the top 4 flank civs I had to pick. Or flank on this map. And for Pocket, I don't think there is a single... Koreans? I think Koreans are a little bit too slow. Like, they're good, but I'd rather play Koreans on something like Team Islands where you have a bit more space to work with on flank. So, yeah, I just put them like a hair below. But, yeah. I mean, Japanese and Persians both have fantastic fish booms. Japanese are going to have a better fish boom than Persians. In Sloth, that's fair. More of an American thing. It feels much less like an American thing and more of a reaction to American thing from other places. Hating Americanized styling of their native cuisines, even though that's the cuisine of those people who just immigrated here in the first place. But yeah, like, I don't like pineapple on pizza. I mean, I don't hate it. It's, I don't know, it's not something to go crazy over. Dutch food? You mean herring? I don't know, what's Dutch food? Everybody on the flank on the way up to Feudal Age. Pockets, we're looking at 32 for Robo, 33 for the Max, so that's all good. Stroop waffles? Oh yeah, I've had stroop waffles before. Stampot? Don't know Stampot. I've had Belgian food before. Like carbonade, moule frite, waffles. Belgian-style waffles. But yeah, I guess I've never had Dutch food. Is it good? Give it to the rage bit, yeah. In a pot and mash it together? Well, to be fair, that sounds like a lot of countries' dishes from all over the world. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, soups and stews are da bomb. Is the rest of Northern Europe? That's really not high praise. B, if they eat it? I don't know, man. There was some English dish that sounded absolutely disgusting that I learned about recently. I think it was on John Oliver. The good sweets? Well, yeah, I mean, if anything, the Northern Europe is known more for its sweets than its savory dishes. Anyway, I was wondering if we'd be back to full galleys. I remember seeing in one of the other show matches that people tried going hulks on the flank, but I feel like galleys are still probably for the best. Eat stuff because we don't like it. We eat stuff. We don't like stuff because we don't want to eat it. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. AoE2 gambling scene? I don't like gambling at all, so I don't know. Well, at the moment, it really is just a matter of the pure execution microgame from the flank players, and we're not likely going to have a decisive advantage until either we start looking at the pockets fighting for middle map control or really tilting the scales on the battle on the flanks, or if one of the flanks screws up, basically, takes a bad fight, and then the galleys go over to the pockets fish boom. I just see ads for Kalshi and Polymarket all the time, and it's really annoying that all these big celebrities are just taking all this gambling money. I'm sorry, prediction market money. It's definitely not gambling, especially with all the insider stuff that's going on. Not sports, you see their ads? And I do watch sports. I, like so much of the world, have the unfortunate affliction of trying to enjoy sports. Oh, this is what I was talking about, though, guys. If you can take a big advantage on the water and sail towards the pocket's fish boom, that is one way to really turn the tides here early on, and that is about as decisive an advantage as you could ask for. I mean, literally, in the stadiums, they had stuff for Polymarket and Kalshi, I think. Which is, again, hilarious. As we didn't even allow sports gambling until the late 2010s. Which, to be fair, I think they were struggling to gain new viewership for, like, American sports, and then they allowed gambling to come in, and, like, they made a gajillion dollars off of it. Anyway, hugely decisive fight here. Tulendina definitely the MVP of this game so far, getting a big advantage on the flank. That said, what Amalius is doing here is making sure that at least the galleys are occupied, because if the galleys sail over here, you don't want to have Max adding in fire ships, because the core strategy here is to have Max fight for map control here and build his economy. You can see we have the 5 light cav here for the Max, being very annoying and harassing No Zombie, because No Zombie's playing that more water-centric approach. So 2 sort of very different approaches from the pocket. Yeah, but like that 5% feels really good. And also watching game as a neutral is honestly at times feels much more fun than having a vested interest in who's winning. Yeah, I mean, that TC is only very slowly coming in here for No Zombie. Robo and Villessa still seem like they're basically even, but like, this is what I was saying. If the pocket comes in and puts their thumb on the scale of the flank galley war, rooting for somebody, all you know is that eventually the New York Jets will lose. That's the only thing you can be sure of in sports. But yeah, I always tend to end up rooting for the underdog, like a little bit more at least. Funniest outcome? Yeah, that's true. Or you want a good game, right? It's funny though, because the New York Jets have actually won a Super Bowl, when there are 4 or 5 NFL teams that have never won a Super Bowl, and another few that have never even been to a Super Bowl. And they still don't get made fun of as much as the Jets have. That was a very interesting game. Anyway, the fire ships are coming in for the Japanese player, and so is the Imperial Age. But this is where things get interesting, is because Japanese don't have the fire ship upgrades. They don't have siphons, and they don't have incendiaries. I don't think that matters too much, but it is at least something to keep in mind for the quality of the Japanese fire ships going forward. Anyway, again, case in point number 7,852 of fire ships are silly, silly, silly good against docks. But this is to be expected, honestly. Oh, this is exactly what you're looking for as the Max. Now, no loom is even in. Oh, no. Oh, no. Look at this corner of the map. Isn't this a nice little corner? You could fish boom here. 2 deep fish and 2 shore fish. Molly's totally could go for that. Isn't that a lovely corner of the map? I love the corner of the map. Oh, dear. Anyway, now Green is adding in some ships of his own, and that is a big eco lead here for Suomi. 2 TCs in the middle of the map for the Persian player. This navy is still very scary, though. No Sami's fire ships are still doing work, even against the Persian docks. I mean, look at this. So stupid. But Max has his own fire ships here. But the big story is just going to be that middle map control now from the Max. It's going to be really tough to stop. Another landing attempt here from Red, but you're only on 39 bills right now. To be fair, Blue's only on 46. And actually, the question becomes, can Villasa get a land off? I mean, obviously, you're going to need to land sooner rather than later. The Knicks versus Spurs in the 28-3 game? Oh my god. Anyway, September, thank you so much for the 6 months in advance of 55 months. I don't know if that includes the 6 months or not. Yeah, no idea. Regardless, thank you. But yeah, I was definitely going for the Spurs there. That was painful. The New York Knicks fans are a little insufferable. Anyway, careening is about to be in. That's going to be giving you some important Pierce armor against the War Galleys. And, okay, this was important. The transport ship went down, but Villasa was able to send his 5 villagers over. Did he think he could not send more than 5 villagers because he's thinking of the old days of water? Quite possible. The 28-3 game? See, I feel like non-Americans who watch that were a lot more excited about the 28-3 game than most Americans, where you have the Patriots and Tom Brady, who most people hated and were winning everything, able to come back and beat the much more likable Falcons who had never won a Super Bowl before, where it's just like, oh, jeez. Anyway, TC is coming in here for Amalius as well. TC in the middle for Villasa, so everybody in the middle. Purple now coming to the middle too, but right now Suomi just have a really big advantage in being in the middle of the map. That said, it is Kondo time, so excellent use there. Kondo's attack fast, 1.42 reload time, and that's going to make things a lot more awkward for the Max, who's going to have to switch into Persian Cav Archers, which really doesn't feel great. But what's the decision too? And water's still looking good here for Suomi. And only a minor overall villager lead, although a lot of that is going to be the Max here. Oh, I thought he was going to the Warriors. Not that it really matters. Dude, Matt Ryan, he knew they were going to lose. Yep. Yep. Could not sleep. Oh, yeah, like I said, I'm sure... But I think for non-Americans, the experience of the Patriots and their dominance was much different than Americans who just had to suffer through the Patriots' nonsense constantly. And the Bostonians being their New England arrogant selves. And all the bandwagoners, ugh. Miami? But I thought they traded for Giannis. All right, CA numbers are slowly climbing, but this is a good counterattack from No Zombie. On a min, that's true. They're going to clean up that last War Galley. After big Patriot wins, oh boy. Yeah, I think it was smart branding to make them the New England Patriots in order to help bring in the non-Boston parts of New England. Anyway, that's a lot of War Galleys here from Robo. And they're Armenian War Galleys too, so they're extra good. They used to be the Boston Patriots. They were always based in Boston. But yeah, they were at one point rebranded into the New England Patriots. Also New England with the imagery of, like, the American Revolution also is a big thing. Anyway, Cav Archer numbers are slowly climbing. Do we have plate mail armor in yet? No, we do not. Oh, there it is. It's almost in. In Connecticut? Nope. Connecticut doesn't have a city big enough to warrant its own sports team. Basically, it's divided between people who support New York teams and people who support Boston teams. There's like a line somewhere that's basically everybody to the west of that line supports New York and everyone to the east supports Boston. Or in New Jersey? Yeah, there isn't room for an NFL stadium in New York. I mean, maybe you could find one in far Queens or Brooklyn, but that would be extremely expensive still. As well, yeah. I mean, I always support the idea of stadiums should be as close to downtown as possible. One of the reasons that Soldier Field is such a cool experience is because it's right downtown in Chicago. Same with the bank in Baltimore. But of course, now they're going to frickin' move to Indiana for Chicago. Ugh. Anyway, castle denial right there. Now we're just getting to the point, how much does water control really matter in the grand scheme of things? Robo's got a great navy. 65 war galleys. Or soon-to-be galleons, yeah, there we are. The Gare Bears. No Gare Bears. Like, again, I drive through Hammond all the time. I recently drove through Hammond coming back from Michigan. And let me tell you, it is not a place you ever want to go. Being relocated from Portland? Where would they go? I thought they were adding a Vegas and Seattle team to go up to 32 like the NFL. Wants to move them? I mean, Portland is a pretty small market. Especially, I think, maybe you'd want to move them if Seattle is getting a team back to be like the bigger Pacific Northwest place. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Trailblazers are not known for having good ownership. Yeah, look at this. Knights and Cav Archers here for Max Chemistry coming in. Cavalier as well. Another castle's being attempted. Down Under have a huge overall army lead, but again, how much does this really matter? Robo's score is fantastic. Amalius is continuing to build inland. This is a great castle from Tulendina. Is Paul Allen? Yeah. Yep. Is American football a thing in Canada? There is a Canadian Football League. Their rules are a little bit different than American football. But a lot of Canadians support NFL teams. They've been there for 60 years. It's weird. But the teams really are just the playthings of the owners, right? Oh boy, Max is crushing it right now. To revamp the state. Oh yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, that's the reason that the Bears are going to leave Illinois anyways, because the Illinois taxpayers don't want to pay for it. So they're going to go to Indiana, which wants the additional revenue, so they don't care if they make the taxpayers pay for it. $144 Villiers for Amalius. Going to be going into some swordsmen. Now, it is a little bit awkward because of the forward castle. Italian's not the best matchup for the Romans, which sounds very weird to say, but Age of Empires stuff. Castle will go down. Bombard cannon is going to make it a lot more difficult to keep all the trebuchets alive, though. More Genbos coming out here as well for red, but... Got some Halbs on the way for No Zombie. But again, like, Robo's the super high score player on your team, and he's only just now switching into land units. He's trying to go for both pikemen and archers, but he's only on 108 vills. Not that amazing. Now Imperial Age is in here for blue. Like, Cyan and blue barely have any army right now. But Max can pretty freely solo the entire middle of the map. And now all of these units are getting caught right out of spawn. Yeah, well, I guess definitely could do with not keeping his build production going. Good Lodge for the 3 months. Thank you so much, Lodge. Castle there goes down as well. I mean, it's only one castle Genbo production. It's really not very impressive. Legionary coming in too. Oh, and that trebuchet does snipe the bombard cannon there. Unhoused. I think it's a matter of connotation. Homeless, I think, is like implying that they never had a home and are basically bums, whereas unhoused is more indicative that they're people who were living in regular housing, but due to unfortunate circumstances are, well, unhoused. It's really just a semantics thing, though. Oh, Vigar coming in. A lot of it just has to deal with the negative perception of homeless people and that they're like lazy bums who don't deserve housing, which again is like bizarre. Midterms? Oh yeah. But it's mostly primaries right now. So it's like Republicans against Republicans and Democrats against Democrats deciding who gets the nomination. Anyway, Robo trying to push back here. You do have 3 trebuchets going after the castle. Do we have Kachaparuto in? No, we do not. Another castle's being attempted, and I guess it's not like the legionaries are all that great. You still have a little bit of a score lead here for the Aussies. Their tournament life is on the line, or at least this qualifier life. Ecos are still comparable as well. Like, the army quality for yellow isn't great. Red has a decent army, but is going to have very bad production. And I really think these castles probably needed to be a little bit further back. That said, hand cannons can start to come out for Italians. I mean, Max is only on 118 Vils. It's not that amazing. And he doesn't have Savaris, he only has Cavalier. Responsibilities. My parents say that, you know, I don't understand why people liked Reagan because I didn't live through the 70s and 80s. Which, like, I guess, but it's just so bizarre to me that so much of America can think he was such an amazing president when it seems like he really accelerated a lot of the horrible stuff that we are dealing with today. Commititents is coming in, I guess. That's still going to be good for the Legionary production. Impera. Still, the hand cannon numbers are climbing. That castle's going to go down before Pyrotechnica comes in. Reagan, yeah. Well, Savar is in. Trade cogs have also started here for the Aussies, and that's what water control gives them. They still have 46 galleons here and 3 Drummonds. Nobody has a naval presence at all for Suomi. Towers are going to start to come in for the Japanese as well. Illusional national history. Well, we've never been conquered, so we generally don't have to be exposed to other versions of history. Thatcher? I mean, I think the idea is that they're very similar. Dumber Iran-Contra, yeah. The Yasuma coming in, but now it really feels like Suomi's taken back over here. They have the score lead, and actually is getting to be a significant score lead at that. You have Japanese Halps to help with the Savars, but only 8 of them. In 1812, yep. Versus Binface. All I know is that Binface is the only candidate for me. I mean, you can either vote for the human trash can or count Binface. I mean, I think it makes sense. Anyway, Suomi will take the 3-1 win. Very, very impressive. But again, credit to the Aussies. They really did put up a good fight. They did win water. They just didn't quite invest enough on land early on, as is so often the really tricky balance to strike when it comes to migration. They won game number 1 fair and square and super decisively. It was just, like, not quite enough in the subsequent games. Well, Nomad was really the only one-sided game. All the other games were actually very competitive. All right. There's NOC versus CNZS3. That's a bunch of 2K1 players versus a very good German team. Or we could cast the Vitality versus LY match. Which would you rather have? Me keep casting the league qualifiers or the LY Vitality thing? I'm gonna get some more coffee. I'll be right back. All right. No one said if they wanted me to what they wanted me to cast. Something about qualifiers? We can cast qualifiers. All right, so what is it? NOC versus CN. Versus CNZS. Right. Yeah, but aren't T90 and Dave doing LY versus Vitality? Yeah, looks like it. Did Yo kill a bunch of people with Lithuanian paladins? Looks like it. Oh, Menindee. Oh, I love Menindee. Super male. What was game number 1? Click Running's profile. I should be able to see the civs and played and stuff. Heed. No time? Nope. But that's always the irony of a lot of the racist stuff in the World Cup. Looks like Nocturna took game number 1. All right. What were the civs? They were Celts, Ethiopians, Huns losing. Where are hotels? Losing. Oh, we're in game 3. Oh, my bad. I was like, those civs don't make sense. Oh, I thought we were in game 2. Okay, well, whatever. I'm not kidding, guys. The players for the Chinese team are XZ, XB, and UX. If that isn't confusing, I don't know what is. This guy thinks he should get LAN invites. "18 seconds. Is disqualification? Nope. All right, it's Menindee time. It's a World Desert Championship map. Very exciting. This version, I thought the original one had 2 short or 2 deep fish. I don't remember. But we'll have CNZS XZ as the green Gurjaras, UX as the blue Koreans, and XB as the cyan Portuguese. Now, there are 4 tiles of gold for each player in the middle of your little defended clearing. And 2 tiles of stone, which is going to be, you know, just enough for the... Wait, isn't this a bugged map? This is a bugged map. Stone should be on the inside. Anyway, Vil fighting time. Lithuanians versus Koreans. The Lithuanians going to be a bit better able to sustain villager production. This is very often the case for the Menindee. Or at least it was in World Desert Championship. This is my first time seeing it in several years. Tongue Twister team? Oh my, yes. And Turs does lose the Scout Cavalry. Meanwhile, Anatov is going to be fish booming as the Purple Malians, and running is the Yellow Spanish. So running... Again, the map is literally bugged. But it feels like you can't call an admin re here because of the early Vil fighting. So, it feels like kind of a rough situation no matter what. Coming up with names is hard? Yeah, it sure is. Wait, Turs on 15 pop, Blue's on 16 pop. Anatov's the one that has the fish boom right now, but you can't fish boom too much because you have the 1 perch only, and remember, fish traps are a feudal age building. There's really only so much you can do in the Dark Age. Salsa next year? Oh, I go through Salsa like within half a week. Anyway, Camel Scout doing Camel Scouty things. Looks like 5 sheep in that mill right there. Nothing that insane. Well, to be fair, Canada has a lot of lakes. You can't think of a creative name for all of them. The guys that use numbers, yep. Well, to be fair, I didn't ever want to be Ornlu 528. It's just Ornlu was always taken in whatever I've used. Lake Superior? I mean, to be fair, it is a very big lake. It is the biggest freshwater lake in the world by surface area. And the second biggest by volume. More Vil fighting, and CNZS do have an overall Vil lead, although that is in part because Anatop is on his way up to Feudal Age. But, yep, having to stone mine over here. This is really not what you want, though. Is it very imaginative? It sure isn't. The United States? I mean, to be fair, despite the states being in general degrees of cohesion, the states are significantly more unified than they have been in the past. Yes, it was. Another dead Vil here for Turs. It really feels like Blue is getting the better end of this. Now, Green and Cyan are both on their way to the feudal age. And this really isn't looking too bad at all for CNZS. United States of Mexico? Yep. And yet the U.S. is typically the United States is typically called the United States. The demonym is Americans, or American, but we typically, when referring to the country, say U.S. or United States. Typically.
Monday?
And America sometimes as well. We very rarely say United States of America all together unless you're doing something formal. Alright, feudal age is coming in, but like I said, that bugged stone really is an issue for running.
Yeah?
Oh, Admiral Akbar warned us, but we did not listen, or it was a trap. Anyway, running in feudal age, but like, what can he do? Doesn't roll off the tongue. It really doesn't. Doesn't Myanmar not have a meaning or something like that? Like, what does Myanmar even mean? Another Deadville. So, I mean, Turs still hasn't clicked up. Okay, well, now he just did. Got some scouts out here for Manitoff. Got some scouts out here for Green. Yeah, still just the one camel scout. But with 6 bills on gold, he clearly wants to make more. The majority ethnic group that lives in the country? Burmese or Burman? Oh, okay, so it's just a more linguistically accurate rendering of the Burmese people. Probably doesn't help the unity among the non-Burmese people in the country. Anyway, tower coming in over here for blue. To get violent? Yep. Like I mentioned, I wanted on a date with a girl who was one of the non-Burmese ethnic groups. I mean, she was from Yangon, so it's, you know, she was from the city. Anyway, tower being attempted here for red. The more, yeah, depends on how aggressively democratic you want to say you are. Except for the absolute monarchies. Well, to be fair, Dr. Congo implies that it's a medical doctor, not a democracy. Which, to be fair, the country as a whole doesn't have a medical degree. Countries can't have medical degrees, so, I mean, I think that's pretty, you know, pretty untruthful. Mostly, it's kind of... I mean, the European kingdoms are all constitutional monarchies. Except Liechtenstein, kind of. But none of the other monarchies are especially democratic. Oh yeah, the Vatican. I don't remember what the Vatican's technical designation is. Because it essentially is an absolute ruler that is elected by a council of elders. Monarchy? But it's not a monarchy because the title of Pope isn't passed down from, you know, the the same bloodline, right? In fact, I don't think any of the popes are related to each other. At least not since ye old days. Alright, petard coming in. Oh, the organ gun trying to block for the petard, but it doesn't really work. The Belgian Free State? Yeah, there was not a whole lot that was very free about it. Yeah, I mean, it was good. Yeah, Congo was good. Anyway, conks are out. There are also organ. Come on. No shame? Yeah, it's hard to argue against it being the most oppressive and brutal of all the colonial experiences. Japan in Korea and the Dutch in Indonesia is pretty close, but Belgium might take the cake in the race to see who can create the most crimes against humanity. More towers here for UX. Kills there. Which sub-Saharan African civs would I want? Want a Swahili civ, want a Benin civ or some Nigeria-based civ, and maybe Condom Bornu to sort of bridge the gap between East and West Africa. I think that would make the most sense. Congo isn't really within the AoE2 time frame, and Zimbabwe feels a little too disconnected to the rest of the world. There are some other options as well, but I think those would make the most sense to me. Even close to Nazi atrocities? I mean, I have always firmly held the opinion that trying to measure, which insert dictator or dictatorial country committed more atrocities or was more heinous is kind of a pointless endeavor. Naval Civ? Something like that. That tower is denied. I mean, nobody's really expanded out of their happy little hidey hole yet. By Malians? What else would you have them represented as? To be fair, most of them were from West Africa, and Mali is the stand-in for all West Africans. I mean, again, you're not going to get any arguments from me. I mean, the night numbers are still really good for Anatov. I mean, maybe Pol Pot in Cambodia is probably what would come, and Stalin's pogroms and the Great Leap Forward are really what I would consider, up there, but again, you're looking at an array of some of the most heinous people and actions in all of history. Cavalry gonna try and trap the organ guns. Meanwhile, XZ did add in the extra TC. Yes, Joseph Mobutu Sese Seko is one of the most famously corrupt dictators ever. Well, the Gurjara camels are better than the Malian ones. It's what, 2 more bonus damage, I think, these days to camels? 7 versus 5, I'm pretty sure. And also there are knights mixed in here, which are going to perform even worse. Different flags. Were they wearing their regional flags? Obviously, Spain has a very strong regional identity, on top of Spanish national identity. Anyway, extra TC here from Anatov, and he does have the fish boom, much more so than does XC. But later in adding in that second TC to help gather extra resources. Emil's over here, gonna try and clean up all this stuff. I mean, overall Vills are pretty heavily in favor of CNZS.
Monday?
Now Blues and Castle Age. Obviously, Terz is just having a real sad go of things. Look at this happy little community, guys. Little campaign village. Castle not going to be coming in, though. War wagons are going to enter the picture soon. That's going to be very tough to deal with. It's not like the conks have been ineffective from running. I mean, they're still conks. They do conky things. Get another villager or so over here. And camels doing well enough here. I mean, the camels are only very slightly better for the Gurjaras if they only get 1 more attack, relatively speaking, if they don't have the forging upgrade versus forging. Oh, actually, that castle to be canceled and rebuilt. That's definitely a bit of a win there for Nocturna. And Anatov is on the 3 TCs himself. UX is trying to add in another TC. I guess there are shorefish over here on the river.
Monday?
And maybe Terz will get to Castle Age someday. But right now you have conks, and camels, and some knights. Camels are going to struggle to challenge that many conquistadors. Now the TC finally coming in here from running. This will be the first extra TC he's added. Meanwhile, we have a lot of monks, but of course the issue is the mobility, where both the organ guns and the monks are very slow units. So they have to be very careful with how they pick fights. A lot more conversions coming in. Does yellow have devotion? It sure looked like it. No, he just got very lucky, running very lucky not to get converted there. Defense upgrades are, of course, huge against organ guns because they apply to every single pellet. Iron casting also going to be in here for purple. And that's a, that's a big advantage. That means his camels are just as good in the camel battle as Green's camels. And now 85 to 68 fills. Again, the macro really is shining through. And, Terz is still here. He's still doing his little thing. Let him live his life. No on top? No, because of the attack upgrade difference. That's what I've been saying. You get 2 extra attack on your camels as Gurjaras, but they equalize if you have iron casting versus not even forging. Anyway, big fight here, and this is so much better for Nocturna, and this might just be the series clinching fight right there. Everything getting obliterated there for CNZS. And despite Turs not really able to do anything, Anatov and Running are more than capable of picking up the slack. Cyan is going to try and add another TC. Anatov now with his first castle. Few war wagons being annoying.
Servidora.
Presto. Mande.
Sí. Hola. Hola.
And Imp for Anatov, and finally Castle Age for Turs. Yeah, Anatov absolutely able to just honestly pretty heavily outplay XZ here in Castle Age.
Presto. Mande.
Presto. Oh boy. 4 war wagons war wagoning it up. Does make the fight a little bit more complicated, but there's really no way to force anything. And Imp is getting closer and closer. I mean, this is certainly annoying on the other side for sure. I mean, it's still effectively a 2v3. But Imp about to be in here for Anatov. I mean, Heavy Camel and Plate Barding Armor are still going to take a bit more time. And there is Imp for green, but 86 to 96 fills. The numbers are also advantageous. Beautiful fight here for Running with the high ground and the surround. Oh my goodness gracious. Cyan just not in position. That is pretty darn brutal. There's Heavy Camel, and even Farimba Unana. Wow. 65 kills on that blob of conks. I think there's like 1 knight in here. Oh no, there's a bunch of knights in here. Anyway, there's +4 defense coming in. More well-round. I mean, they are somewhat inverses of each other. Gurjara camels are better than Malian ones, right? But Malians have camels to supplement a wider tech tree, whereas Gurjara camels are a huge portion of what makes the Civ strong in the first place. Anyway, Heavy Camel now in, and this is likely all she wrote here. Oh my goodness, that conks are in to support as well. War wagons are going to get clobbered. Castle coming in here from Running. That's going to be number 3 for him. DNZS going to hang in there as they are on the brink of elimination, but obviously, fortunately, a little bit outclassed by Nocturna, and I think this lineup is actually really, really solid to make a good run in this event. More raids coming in. There is the GG call. And well done to Nocturna. Crazy KD there for Running. And Turs could say, I helped. 18 kills. Those are 18 kills his teammates couldn't have gotten. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Actually, what is tomorrow? No idea. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.